Main event time. Seth Rollins going up against Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship at WWE Battleground 2015. This is going to be a big match. This is why people are going to be watching Battleground on the WWE Network. This is why people are going to be pumped up for wrestling on Sunday, is seeing the return of Brock Lesnar to come back to WWE. The Beast in the East special that aired live from Tokyo was a huge, overwhelming success for everyone that was involved. We got to see Brock Lesnar make his return match in a match killing Kofi Kingston. This match was joked about for months, and then at the last minute, WWE almost had cold feet pulling the match, but they decided to go through with it. They didn't give Kofi barely any offense. I believe he tried to hit a drop kick early in the match, and within 2 minutes, it was all she wrote. But you could tell that Brock Lesnar is, fixated on getting that WWE Championship back. That is what he fights for. He wants it. Seth Rollins last year was the one guy to almost hold the Money in the Bank briefcase for as long as you're able to hold it. He ended up cashing it in at WrestleMania 31. When you think about what the Money in the Bank briefcase means, when you go back to, Money in the Bank was held at WrestleMania each and every year. It was for the winner to win that briefcase and hold on to that contract for a year and cash in on the grandest stage of them all, becoming the WWE Champion in the main event of WrestleMania. Finally, at WrestleMania 31, we got to see that play out the way that it was made when that belt, or when that concept to go after the belt was created at WrestleMania 21, when Edge won the first Money in the Bank ladder match. From there, he would go on and cash in at I believe what was the name of that show? New Year's Revolution, whatever it was. It always gets me mixed up. But when Edge cashed in after the Elimination Chamber match, everyone was in shock and awe. Nobody knew that you were able to cash in 24/7. It was almost like WWE changed the game at the last minute. But, it always makes it very fun, very exciting. This match, to me, honestly, would mean a little bit more if Roman Reigns was involved to sort of play off the match, that all three guys will go into Battleground fresh. And it's not like, Roman and Brock Lesnar wrestling an entire match before Seth ran out there, made it a three-way. And even though he had lost earlier in the night, that, he didn't go into the match, fresh as a daisy while everybody else beat the hell out of each other before he got there. But when you had the briefcase, you're the guy that says when the match starts, and that's what he did. After Money in the Bank, when Seth Rollins beat Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins declared himself the greatest WWE champion of all time, which basically sent shockwaves to the entire WWE. You could tell that the Authority almost turned their back on Rollins at that point, sort of saying that his head was bigger than what was going on. Once Brock made his debut, Seth was able to get the band back together, in his own words, with Kane making his return, J&J Security. But over the past 2 weeks, we've seen Brock dismantle all that Seth Rollins has created, basically by breaking Kane's leg on Monday Night Raw, by just all out injuring J&J Security. He took, Jamie Noble, broke his back, broke his arm, broke his rib. The guy's done. He ain't showing up. There's nothing but a miracle that's going to be helping Seth Rollins at Battleground. But I think the overwhelming storyline that revolves around this match is Triple H and the real Authority, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie, in the past few months, has seemed like she's gone really cold on Seth Rollins, even though he's been WWE champion since WrestleMania. He's won every match that he's competed in, unless he ran away, like the match after the match after WrestleMania on Monday Night Raw. But I don't know really where the Authority went south on Seth Rollins, because he is still the WWE champion. He is really standing up to fight anybody that he can. It doesn't seem like he knows that Brock, if he gets a hold of him, can really kill him. But it's not like he's really running away from Brock. If you remember Seth, this isn't his first time getting in the ring with Brock. They had their match at the Royal Rumble. It was a three-way match involving John Cena as well, going after the WWE Championship that was around the waist of Brock Lesnar at the time. I believe it was the first championship shot for Seth Rollins as well. But it was really the outcoming. Rollins still had the Money in the Bank briefcase. I remember there was people who thought that the match would happen and either Cena or Lesnar would win, and then Rollins would cash in to become champion. Once it was over, and he would run into WrestleMania 31 as the champion, but it ended up that he left with it. But this month, when Brock and Lesnar made their debut, or fucking screwed that up, but when they made the return to Monday Night Raw, it sent shockwaves to the WWE big time. I didn't know if Lesnar was the heel or if he was a babyface, but it looks like going into the match, Lesnar is going to be a babyface. I don't know. I really don't want the belt on Lesnar. In my mind, I don't want him to be a transitional champion. I think that he's going to wrestle Battleground. He's probably going to wrestle at SummerSlam. And then we're probably not going to see him again for a little while. You know, with that contract, WWE doesn't bring Brock in for a ton of shows. But he is around for some ones that they really wanted to do it. Brock has been used on SummerSlam the past few years. But SummerSlam seems to be a show that people are going to order just because its name is SummerSlam. Battleground is a show for the past few years that just really hasn't lived up to the hype. It just seems like July is not must-see WWE pay-per-view, and they wanted to keep the numbers for the WWE Network going. So they used their money. They used it wisely. They brought in Brock Lesnar. This is probably the biggest match that WWE could be having this month to keep people really interested in what is going on. But we'll see. Honestly, in my opinion, I think that Rollins is going to be keeping the belt. He's going to find some way to win. But I think that I'm giving in to the rumor that Rollins is going to be wrestling Triple H. I think that Triple H is going to be mad that he built a stable for Rollins with J&J Security and Kane. And basically, Rollins got all three of those members killed. So, I think that Triple H is going to be mad that he built something for Rollins that he took for granted. And he's probably got a big head thinking that he's bigger than the authority and better than what's going on. Triple H set up this match as a way for Rollins to prove himself to him. So, we'll see what happens. But honestly, in my opinion, I see Rollins keeping the belt. How you have Brock lose and not get it, I got no clue. But the big rumor is SummerSlam, Triple H versus Rollins. Could be a good match, and it could be something that I get really fired up about, seeing Triple H wrestle one more time. Triple H has wrestled on the last few WrestleManias last year because they were doing Evolution versus The Shield. He wrestled 2 extra shows, but he is the guy that likes to keep that suit jacket on and the tie. But when it comes down to it and there's time to get into the ring and there's money to be made, Triple H is that guy who will step up to the plate. He'll take his whipping and try and put WWE in a better light. So we'll see what goes on with the show. I think that Battlegrounds could be a good show, but honestly, in my opinion, Lesnar versus Rollins is the one match that I really care about. Owens versus Cena is the match that I don't really care about as much because we've seen it in the last 2 pay-per-views. But it really could stand up and surprise me. If you get anything out of Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns, if you get anything out of Orton versus Sheamus, it could end up being a good pay-per-view.